Hello, guys. This is Drake, and this is episode 9 of West Texas Bros. We have a special guest today, Stephen Rosas, a community based leader whose roots are in Emerald, Texas. He's a veteran, real estate guru, a part of Lions Club, and so much more on this episode. Stephen, you do so much, and I just want to kind of lead you into it. What's your story?
Okay, well, that's kind of loaded. I'm Amarillo, born and raised. Been here my whole life. I grew up in here with my mom. She would go to church. We do a lot of charity back, you know. And so I've been in this area, served in this area. Went to Boys Ranch for a little bit, and yeah, in high school, and
That's such a good organization.
yeah. And so, so I don't know. Other than that, like I try to get into all kinds of things. I've got so many things to talk about. So yeah.
As I've gotten older, I feel like I just love everything. I want to do everything from rodeos to real estate to sports. Everything's so fascinating to me, and it kind of stinks that we can't do everything. But
Yeah.
what are some of your hobbies? What's some of your stuff? I know you do real estate.
Oh, okay. So, real estate's, I got into real estate as I wanted to make money. I had a moving business, back before COVID, and, I'd had that for, over 12 years, over 10 years. And it was getting close to 12 years once we finished it off. And then in 2019, I was kind of done with it. I was ready to quit. And then COVID hit, and, it was time to change. And so I found real estate mostly because if you look through the internet and you're trying to, what can I do to make money, what could this that, a lot of it. And I always mess up the percentage, but it says, like, I think it says something like 3/4 of the world's wealth is in land and real estate. And so that was just something I want to do the majority of wealthy people are in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
That's just it, numbers. And so when I looked at that, I that was my main focus. Of course, I like to know and learn just about everything I can about how the world works, and real estate lines up with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first, like, that's like my career and what I like as a career.
Yeah.
Something I've found that I like to do. I've never stuck with anything besides moving for over 6 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, just because, you find jobs, you go through jobs, and, I'm not a big warehouse guy.
Yeah.
I don't like to be under the fluorescent lights. I tell people I'm like a, what do you call it? A stray cat.
Yeah.
I like to, I like to wander. And so, yeah. And so that's what I do professionally. As far as hobbies go, being in Texas, there's lots of space to do things. So I usually end up hunting, which is probably, you hear a lot of that. And backpacking is what I've kind of gotten into now, which is
cool. That's something I want to do eventually.
It's it's a lot more minimalist.
Yeah. So the backpacking thing, I wanted to ask you, I guess you being a military man, you did a lot of backpacking, didn't you?
Yeah. I was.
And
I was.
so,
in the military.
like, with you being in the military, do you see, like, did it create a certain a strong arm far as your character and the way you handled yourself once you got out the military?
Well,
More discipline?
I think if you go through, I was fortunate enough I didn't have to serve overseas. So you're doing a lot of maintenance. You're maintaining yourself, and working. It's almost like a regular job. But a lot of the training is organization and field preparedness. And so, especially when you're in early training and you've got sergeants that are, you probably see mostly drill sergeants and stuff like that. And they train you to be hyper vigilant, because if you're not, you're gonna hear it, And then of course, if for veterans that go overseas, they have to be prepared, or because they're protecting the guy next to them.
Yeah.
And so, but I can say with my limited experience and what I was able to get through, because like I said, I was in and out.
Yeah.
Lucky enough not to have to serve overseas. Had a lot of friends that did. And so of course I support the troops, but I've got, my kids and my ex-wife could probably tell you, I've got a expectation of the way things should be done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so,
With that being said, like, is identifying like a structure with everything you be doing, because we're regular citizens, but we'll be like cracking jokes like that guy, he's too much of a stiffler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you guys do carry that certain no sleep attitude. I'm going to do it this way, and it's going to be my structure, and I know that I'm going to achieve it. I don't know if those guys are like ball busters or generals and all of that stuff, but a lot of you guys take that attitude.
I think it's kind of ubiquitous with men anyways. Being hard-headed, being set on one way of doing things. And then on the other hand, you've got everything and everyone telling you that you have to go to the extreme. You've got to go to the edge and no sleep, no mercy, and I'm definitely not like that. I'm definitely not like that. But I think again, I think it has a lot to do with image. And again, I don't want to try to profile or talk about any veterans, because everybody's had their own experiences. But again, I think it comes a lot with image and who you think you should be, who you think people want to see. I'm very much, I like peace. And and a lot of my veteran friends, which when you're a veteran, especially a career veteran, you usually hang out with career veteran people. And so, we've kind of over the years, and it's been probably about over 15 years, we kind of stray, but, it can be that they're just very, and rightfully so, because my veteran friends were combat veterans, and so they were just, I had a buddy talking to me about how he had to work past, he would see a plastic bag float across the road, and he'd have to stop, because I'm sure y'all heard about IEDs and all that, back in the day. And so, they have to work through a lot of stuff. And so I don't want to say anything about anybody else. I'm very fortunate to be able to be in the headspace that I'm in, to be able to say that, I have first world problems. First world problems. I'm working through anxiety and what are they called? Adrenaline spikes from a wreck I was in, a month ago. Exactly. They've got a whole other thing,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to take the time to thank you for your service.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, thank you, kind sir.
Well,
I'm from a military family. I just have the utmost respect for vets.
I do too. Like I said, I served. I was trained. I always say I trained because that's a lot of what it was. Is I was, like I said, in and out. But the guys, I had a really close friend. He got out of service and came back and killed himself, and so so it's rough, and I respect everybody because he saved lives. He was a combat medic, and so you got to respect them, and they come back, and you might see a whole different person. They might be a drug addict or something like that, but they've got problems because they went and served with whatever promise that they were made, from television and their recruiters.
There's just so much that we take for granted every day
Yes.
as, like, Americans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to worry about
Any of
stuff.
your uncles or your dad was in the service?
My grandfather was. My grandfather was in the service. He actually he was in the service, and he worked at the VA here, the Thomas E. Creek VA Center here for a long time, and he actually passed in their hospice center. I don't know if you've ever been in Thomas E. Creek. You can kind of go through there. They have for Christmas we used to go with my son's choir group, and they would go sing over there, and it's fun. And I actually worked at the VA for a little while. Yeah, and it was my grandpa, and we've had some folks in the family that have done it, but not as ubiquitous as a lot of others families. You got lines of people that serve. Yeah, we were just kind of.
Of course.
Yeah.
So on the hunting subject, do you hunt a lot? Like, what do you hunt?
I would say I hunt deer, and we. I've been with my uncle, and I haven't really bagged anything in, hunting to me and what I've experienced is mostly sitting there with your rifle and
Just waiting.
and, yeah, I shot at a hog. We didn't, it was too far away, but
Oh man.
yeah, I've been out mostly.
Time away from the old lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you go out there and it's mostly like you said, get away from everything and drink some beer.
Oh yeah.
And shoot guns, and then if you're lucky, like I said, my uncle's the one that he's the one that gets the bag.
Of course.
I remember growing up, my dad was an avid hunter, and we'd be sitting in the super cold, like looking at, like, I didn't see a deer the whole time. I was freezing. And my dad, he had like a golden eye. He could see it. He'd be like, "You see the deer?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I can't see nothing."
Yeah, he gave you his cheapest rifle.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, oh, and he would end up bagging the deer, and I was just happy to go. But
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Well, I mean, rightfully so. When you think about it, like, I think about it here in 20 years. I'll be taking my kids. I'll be bagging the deers.
Yes.
But it's because, like, I've been going out and I, it's just time. What do they call it? Time over task over time or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And it's just consistency,
Yes.
And so, yeah.
I feel like as men, like, you want to get back into nature. I think that's like, well, it might not even be a man thing. Just people in general are trying to get back into nature as much as possible, like buying lands or traveling to national parks. Just I think it's important as a human to get back to that.
Yeah. Go to Meredith.
Okay, man.
And I go to one of those, and you can actually hike down the it just depends on which ramp you're at.
Exactly.
And you can hike out about a mile, and it feels like you're in the wilderness. Yeah, it's nice. And go out there with a little gas can, and I cook some spam ramen, which is like my favorite right now. Okay, so I don't know if y'all use a lot of spam. I've started to, because
I got sick of it as a kid. I can't do it anymore.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I had
spam calling me.
no. Okay. You don't like spam calling you. No, okay, so well then I'll say, like, I guess I just had just enough when I was a kid to make it still nostalgic.
Yeah.
And so so when I moved out, I was moving out on my own. I was like, I was just like, spam's eat,
Yeah,
like
it's
you
cheap and affordable.
take it out and you chop
Ready
it
to
into
go.
little, and then you pour it out, you put it on the fryer, and it's done. And so I was researching some stuff on how to pack my meals and everything, because a lot of backpacking is trying to be as light as possible, because eventually you will be going through,
Exactly.
hiking
Yeah.
over space, and so or over distance. And so that's what I was looking. I was just looking at different things, and I found the cookers, and you get a little pot, and that's and then again, my research was like, you can do the tuna packets or this and that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna instead of taking the whole can of Spam, I'm gonna take the Spam out, cut it in half because you only need a certain amount, and then chop it into little cubes and put that in a baggie, right? And that was that like cut
Solid.
like that solved the whole problem.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And the first time I ever tried Spam ramen was I hiked up the Rock Garden Trail, which I thought they had dispersed camping up on the ridge, which they were like no. And I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna practice it then. So I took my 30-pound pack, which it's gotten a lot lighter since.
Yeah.
But my 30-pound pack up Rock Garden Trail, which Rock Garden Trail is not like it's hard. But it's not like just a hiking trail. It's like a hiking trail. Like you should with a pack, you should have probably some trekking poles, you know, because you're going. Yeah. And I think the Rock Garden Trail's the one with the most elevation in the park. You've got about 6 miles round trip. And so it's a harder trail.
Man,
That's a long
I did that with 30 pounds. And I took my time, and I didn't eat up there. I was just eating my snacks on the way, and then came back down and made my Spam ramen down there at the bottom with, and again, it's like primitive, your little pot and your little gas can. And oh man, it was the best spam ramen. Spamen.
Yeah, there you go.
The best spam ramen I had ever had. And like I was like, this is it. This is my so
Nice.
that's my backpacking story. But
So is the Appalachian Trail coming up eventually?
oh man,
Dude,
I
that's a good one. I've always wanted to try.
okay, so I joined the group. That's funny that you said that. I joined the group like a month ago, a month ago.
yeah.
And so, but I'm still I'm kind of scared about that because I see people talking about like hostels, staying in hostels and different like that, and they're like, oh my, okay, so you get a little taste of backpacking and like real backpacking, like you know, like homeless kids backpacking, and they're like, oh my whole crew left me and I'm stranded and I need to find somewhere to stay tonight because they had this and that. I'm like,
No.
how do you get yourself like, okay, so your backpack, like honestly, to me, backpacking, the fun about backpacking is being prepared enough to where like you can leave stuff behind.
Mhm.
Right. It's not about taking as much as you can to be prepared. It's about surviving out there. Like I've got a good sleeping bag, right? I've got something that's going to keep me nice and warm. I've got my ground cover that's going to keep me elevated off the ground. But like that's and I spent a little bit of cash on some good ones. But as you get going, you spend a little bit of cash on these things, and but it makes everything more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the difference. That's
Yeah.
all. You know what you need.
Yeah, and so but I think about that, and then I see people out there like, oh, I don't have a ride home. I'm like,
Oh,
are you kidding me? And so yeah.
That's been my life dream forever to do that trail.
Yeah.
Like just the journey.
Do
of a
it,
lifetime.
brother. My idea. I think this summer I'm going to my first like true like real backpacking adventure will be. I'm going to go to Manitou Springs, and they've got some trail. And I'm sorry I don't have the name of that trail, but they've got a trail back there that I'll probably do. And then they've got some like tourist attraction stairs that they're like super steep stairs that people go to, and I'll probably do that one day and then hike the trail the next couple of days and backpack out
Have
there.
you ever heard of Zion National Park, like the Angels Landing and stuff? It's like this real scary hike.
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's cool if you ever get the chance.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like,
It'll probably come up on my Facebook now that you said
The
so.
Listening.
algorithm will catch it.
Yeah.
No, I've always wanted to do some crazy long trip like that, and I think about it all the time, just dropping everything, go doing something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's just hard though, because it's like 6 months, 7 months playing or just hiking. So.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, now let's talk about some real exciting stuff.
Okay. Right. He's like next subject.
Yeah.
So, your ministry, how did that get started?
Oh, okay. That one's a good one. Okay, so 2015, I think, is when the Supreme Court was thinking of changing the, or they did. They changed the law of homosexual marriage.
Right.
Right. They could get married. Man, and I've always kind of been an activist. I'm not necessarily like, and I'm not gonna say I don't support certain things. I'm just gonna say, like, I usually support like people that are being bullied. Like I'm like an anti-bully.
Yeah.
And so it's not. I have gay friends and stuff like that, but it's not that like I'm just like, man, like leave people alone. Like why
Yeah,
why are you ruining freedom? Like we should all be. What is it? Freedom and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all. That's what I was thinking of. Liberty and justice for all, and that's like what I live by. And so at that time, I think that was going down, and again, like you had a lot of bullies on the internet, the Facebook, and I don't know if y'all remember back then. There was just people arguing back and forth and saying awful things. Somebody literally sent to me that they are laughing at the thought of me burning in hell.
Yeah, there's some cold people on there, man.
Well, and this was after I got my minister. This was me as a minister now. Like I got my ordained shit, which again, like you can see how little they care about that stuff. So I mean, it was paperwork. It's so I could marry gay friends that I had. Yeah. And so that's how it got started. That's how it got started. I mean, and you can, it's free to get ordained.
Chris, go to Roy.
I mean, when we get married, you can get him to get ordained. Yeah. One of my close friends is ordained as well, and I forgot when.
Yeah. Is it a hard process to get ordained, or is it just like
no? You just
brother, I would go. Honestly, you can go to Google and say free ordainship. I mean, there's some good ones. I went through American Marriage Ministries because I was doing it strictly for marriage to help. Because I thought there was going to be an influx of gay people that wanted to get married, and in Texas, especially in the Panhandle, And so I was like, I'm down for it. Honestly, I started marrying more of my straight friends than anything. It's funny. I mean, and I have married a couple of gay couples, but again, it's all about it was it's just I'm not profiling either. I'm not like, hey. Gay people, please come here. It's just that's what I did it for. Yeah. And awesome. So but I married a couple. One of my friends, my straight friends, that they got married in Arlington in a little winery, and
awesome.
I married then. I've married lots of people at the park.
It's such a cool experience. I feel like just being able to do that for someone
at the park. I want to be in the background shooting jumpers.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean you'd be surprised. Like you can go to what is that Memorial Park? Right here.
Yeah, the gazebo.
Yeah, and if there's nobody doing anything, you can go in there, and we stand in there. Like I'm very. This land is your land. Yeah. This land is my land. And so unless there's trespassing signs or barbed wire, we can get married there.
You can get married anywhere.
I did some wedding photos in a gazebo for a buddy.
Really?
Yeah, I've done a couple wedding shoots.
Well, you hear stories of people spending like $10,000 on the venue. And all
yeah.
That. Oh man, shoot,
it's too much.
A backyard wedding sounds kind of nice, sometimes.
Hey, the more I've heard, and I live by the saying, the more expensive the wedding, the more expensive the divorce.
Ain't that true?
And so, I'm not trying to judge anybody or anything like that, But and again, I don't want to say too much. I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. But again,
it's true.
I have a big thing about image. About how people project their image too, and a lot of those things are very indicative of how things are really going. I mean,
that's good to think about because people feel like they need to have that big fancy
it's all out,
and they've learned it from somewhere. Yeah. They've learned it from somewhere. I mean, and I'm. I speak from experience. I've got, I've seen it, lived it,
Exactly. I understand. I've had the experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the backyard wedding.
Yeah.
$100, baby.
You can go to Las Vegas and get married in a drive-through.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's what my dad did.
Through.
Yeah, my dad got married.
Ain't you supposed to be standing up taking vows?
Supposed to. It's a quick. You could just line up like going to McDonald's. You just,
Well,
Man.
and sir,
Takes
you have a wonderful idea of marriage, because
Yeah.
like it is like that's what it should
Like
be. Is
traditional.
it should be a ceremony and a celebration of two people coming together and loving each other. I think the government
takes advantage.
got in there, and I mean, because they're making money off of the this and that, and they're and then it gets sponsored by insurance companies and everything like that, and so and thus we have the Supreme Court saying who can and cannot get married.
That's
and
crazy
so
how
yeah,
it gets to that technical of a level. Like you think about like the government being involved in little stuff like that. And
it's a hassle sometimes. I remember I had to drive because I was in Potter, Randall. I had to go to Canyon to pay like 20 something bucks, and then ended up being more to get the papers. License. Yeah, license. I was like, man, I just get it going, And then it's like, wait a few days or whatever. Well, keep going. Like, okay.
Just try to get a divorce then. If you thought that was hard.
Oh, I already know.
I tried uncontested divorce.
Really?
And it's...
Yeah. No, it's tough.
And I'm a chill dude. So like that was tough.
It is.
I mean, and on the other side, they're pretty chill, and it was just still tough.
Yeah.
And women are mean though. Women can be mean.
Yeah. Ooh.
Women are creative.
I think again, I'm very I try to look at everything, through just through a lens of not judging.
Yeah.
And so like I can see like women are less physically strong than men, and so they defend themselves with mental mental warfare and emotional warfare. Maybe that's more, and maybe less mental, more emotional.
Yeah,
and that's something that we're never,
we're not catching up.
we're not. Well, because that's the thing is like we need them to procreate, and so it's like we're not going to evolve out of that. Like that's actually it's actually probably evolving more. It's probably turning into something more where we're like, okay, so we're getting to the point of women presidents, hopefully. Like they got them overseas, so and I'm not against it. Like I'm totally like I would vote the next woman president. I mean, I was gonna vote for a conservative woman president, just because I'm like let's let's mix it up. Yeah. No, seriously, because I'm just like whatever. But yeah, I think we're just evolving
women are more becoming the breadwinner.
Well, honestly, being in the dating scene, there's a lot of women that got their shit going on, and
they don't need
and and it's just, and it's kind of intimidating, just because like sometimes you can be like, this woman has a day job. She's got an Etsy account and OnlyFans account, and I'm not against that either. But like I'm just like just making money throughout and it's just like, man, I just want one of those streams of income, No, I'm a realtor. I think as a realtor, I forget that I'm employed, because it's really, there's a lot of passive moments that you're mostly trying to get listings and stuff. Like I've got a listing going and I've got another one that's about to close, but it can feel like I'm unemployed, especially when I'm not getting that. I don't know when, like I got a closing this day, but that doesn't mean that the closing is going to happen that day, because something could happen and we could have to reschedule for the next week. And so it can, I go through periods of, mostly unemployed.
That's what I was going to ask. Like out the 4 seasons, when is like the high point of making your money?
Spring through summer, right? right now, like people start getting their income tax checks probably about right now, and right now, right? It says so on my watch. I'm getting ready for it. No, and then they kind of go until I would say until about kids start going to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of dies down. But this last year I was really trying to work through that because again, you get used to cycles, and if you get that in your head, you can be like, I'm gonna take a break here and there. Yeah, and so I try to work through that. But I mean, you can see it. It's spring through about late summer, and then
Well, fill me in like a blank space. Do you do like show that places and deals like that? Present houses?
Yeah. Well, okay. So a realtor. I think the official term is licensed real estate salesperson. Licensed real estate sales agent. And so I can help people buy homes and sell homes almost. And I like to tell people to think of it as like a lawyer, like when you go and you got to go to court for one thing or another, you have a lawyer defend you, and they everybody will tell you it's often not wise to defend yourself, right?
Oh yeah,
or to go to court by yourself. Right. And so that's a big part of it is the stuff that you don't see. The stuff that you usually see is we show houses, post pictures, post ads on Facebook, stuff like that. You'll see the homes on the web, which is what a realtor does, because they pay for the multiple listing service, which you've probably heard of, the MLS, and that they do that through the association. They put the listing on there, and that's how it goes everywhere, and so even if they do have tons of Facebook followers and everything like that, almost nothing can compete with that MLS, because like I said,
people from all over the United States
searching. Yeah, whenever they're looking for, let's say, 2-bedroom, 2-bath home in Amarillo under $200 or $200,000, they're gonna find that house right there. And so and then whatever other houses, they're gonna find a list and they're gonna start looking at them, and so that's like the main portion of what you see is just we're doing that, or on the buyer side, where you go and you sign a paper and we go show you houses, and then once you get a house, that's when everything kind of happens, and when anything can fall apart, and so hopefully you've got a good realtor, and they do the negotiations when you got your option period, which gives you the right to the option to terminate early, and so if you did your inspection, which you buy an inspection, and right now they're running about $400, $450. They may be closer to $500 now.
That's probably the most important thing, right? Is the inspection.
I would, man. We talk about that all the time as a buyer's agent. They're in contracts. It's in everything, telling people to get an inspection. Mostly, I mean, even if you got a brand new home, an inspector, they're trained to look for code issues. Just anything that could be wrong with your house, anything that might, if there's a wire poking out, if there's a crack somewhere that just doesn't look right.
Yes, I was going to say, does inspection somehow ties in with the value of insurance that the person would carry?
No, your inspection is for you specifically, as the buyer. The buyer will pay for the inspection, you get the inspection, and you can share as much or as little as you want with anybody, because that's yours. You paid for it. Yes. Mostly, I don't know if I want to answer any insurance questions. Insurance, it's case by case. It's really case by case. I know a lot of it. I know, again, I am very little into insurance, but I know a lot of it has to do with the actual value of the home. But the inspection's never going to do that. That's going to be an appraiser, something like that. But I think as far as insurance goes, they can do it straight by address,
Wow.
Most of the times, because I think it just goes value of the home, probably probably comes from Prad. They probably get some numbers from Prad and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so insurance is like that. But anyways, so yeah, so your inspection is yours. It's confidential, and you can negotiate your contract off of that. Right now people are doing a lot of negotiations just because prices are fluctuating. We're moving from we're still in a little bit of a seller's market,
Mhm.
but we're moving to that even market. We may move into a buyer's market here in the next year or so, depending on how things are going.
What's the average APR right now? That you have to say?
I think we're at 6. Oh, I don't have my phone on me. I don't know where it is. Yeah, we're at about 6. And it fluctuates daily from 6.02. 6, I wish I had my phone on me. I'd tell you exactly what we're at. But yeah, we're at around 6. And it's probably going to stay steady there. Even if mortgage rates start falling from the Fed, based on whether it's the Fed and our president arguing back and forth or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Mhm.
Right. The Fed lowering rates right now actually would probably mean that we're about to slip into a depression or
my.
at least a very deep recession.
Yeah.
And so, again, I don't want to freak anybody out, but I mean, that's the truth. We probably want, I don't know. All the numbers cascade, like I said, like it all depends on job reports. I was having a conversation with a guy because he was like, "Oh, the rates are going down, so that should be good." And I was like, "Eh." Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, like that one aspect will be good, but we're talking like
everything
buyers.
else is-
Like that's not going to help more buyers get approved.
Mhm.
Especially if they don't have jobs or they're in debt. That's a big thing right now. Is lots of people are in. I think they said we're in the most debt that we've been in years. I
Damn.
I don't have the date, but it's
was
been
up at 9, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of peaking around
Yeah.
9. Wow. My brother, he sold his house a couple of years ago just because of the huge the gap and stuff.
Oh man, and a few years ago it was nice. It was a Goldilocks zone, and that's why everything was moving like that. But again, there's always those caveats. With that many good things going on, there were so many buyers.
Yeah.
There were people that were getting outbid on their homes on ridiculous numbers, and the appraisers, the only thing that's the only thing you had to worry about. The appraisers come in once you get your loan settled and everything like that.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, yeah, you can buy the house for this much.
Mhm.
And that was the only thing holding people back. And the appraisers were approving a lot of this stuff. And so it's just like, that's why things got out of hand. And so, and I don't know what started it, if I don't know, but yeah, it just started going out of control.
Yeah.
And and again, if you don't need an appraiser, if you're paying cash,
Mhm.
you can pay as much money as you want.
Damn.
So yeah, so it's crazy. Everything can there's good and bad to everything, and it was nuts.
How do you feel like the Emerald market is right now? Like for real estate?
Amarillo, I feel like has always been real indicative of like what's going on in the United States, as far as average. We're very lucky to kind of be like sit in the middle.
Okay.
We don't have extremes one way or another.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still slowing down. I can see it. I don't know if it's been everywhere because again, I don't got tens of 20s of listings all the time. I do a lot of mine passive. I have my friends on Facebook. That's how I get my like almost like I can just the manna from heaven. It's just like anytime I'm about to, here comes somebody on Facebook. They're like, hey, can you list my house? Yeah. And so, but I don't know if I don't know if it's everybody, but I have seen a lot more people come through open house than I have seen them schedule showings to come privately. And so I don't know if that means that they're trying to look on their own for a little while. If I don't know. So
Do you
so
feel
I'm,
like a lot of people, like transplants, like people from different states are looking to come here, or
that's a good question.
just because it's cheaper? And I guess the cost of living and stuff.
I think Amarillo is always going to be like that. Amarillo. We live on a HUD. We are a HUD.
Yeah.
And so come to find out that we live on one of the richest mineral deposit areas in Texas. That's why if you've ever been here and you think it feels like an experiment or something weird's going on. Mm-hmm. Because it is no, because like we don't really know what's going on, like as far as like Pantex and what's going like that plants going around Pantex, and that's where the richest mineral deposit is. They said there's a line that runs around through there, and that's why everything wants
like plutonium. Or?
I think so. I mean, I think uranium is why they've got Pantex there, but I know it's their minerals there that they want.
Because I know there used to be a helium plant here back in the day.
Yeah, we had a few different things, but I know now they're wanting to build. What is it? They're talking about building
a data center.
Yeah. Well, okay, so so I saw who was it? Jack Sizemore came out and was selling that to the Amarillo Association of Realtors. Okay, I'm sorry if I get what is it? Conspiratory, like, because I had just my brain just runs that way, and so I'm going to try to just give you everything that's facts. But I thought it was funny that Jack Sizemore was coming to sell that to. But so that plant, Pantex is going to be right here, and then that plant is going to go this way, up this way, and then back around it. That way,
just kind of go.
Yeah, okay. And if you see it, it's funny. It just encapsulates it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay, AI data plant surrounding Pantex again. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's
and so we're gonna have a lot of people come through here. Lots of people, more than we usually have. Probably more than. Definitely more than Bell Helicopter had, just because it makes Pantex look like a little
little facility.
Yeah, and Pantex is like a city. And so this place is going to be like a mega city. It's going to inside or just outside of Amarillo. So I imagine
Amarillo is going to be the next big metropolitan in Texas.
Well, they're trying to connect Amarillo and Canyon.
Well, and I was telling somebody I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't swallow up Washburn pretty quick.
Yeah,
I mean, it's quiet. Like nobody talks about Washburn, but Washburn's really close, and I mean that would be the next best place to like put a big Walmart Supercenter or something like that.
This is off Sunset.
No, this is going to be almost by the airport, but right there off Pantex.
More east.
You go. This way. You go way out that way. You're gonna go up the Airport Boulevard.
Yeah,
and then you go straight up for a while, and then you hit like you're going out to Highland Park, and it's Pantex is over that way, and so this is all it's literally right outside of Amarillo. And so we're gonna have lots of people. I believe that, like, again, I believe Washburn will probably be a contributing factor there for room, for homes, stuff like that. And so
I just worry about the resources. I know a lot data centers use.
Well, that's the big concern some people are fighting, because it's supposed to like really eat.
Well, everywhere they're doing it, and I see people protesting all over the place. These places. I don't know what to protest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
too much going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's I don't know that it's that detrimental. I've heard a lot of people talk about how it'll use up less water than like a corn crop and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And
So nowadays you just don't know what to believe.
Well,
There's so much being told.
in my head, like just like a corporation or anything like that wants to make money, they do a pro forma,
Mhm.
and they look out so many years.
Yeah.
Somewhere this big has to look out at least 30, 50 years. I would
It wouldn't be
assume.
worth their
I don't know.
investment.
They didn't hire me. They didn't hire me to run this thing, but I would assume. And so that's what I've been telling people. I assume that they, at least for 30 years, we
Yeah,
would
it's
have
gonna-
water that can feed this AI machine.
Exactly.
And, and so, and they talk about, we've got pipelines that run all across this area. And again, Amarillo is right in the middle of it for some reason. And so we're good as far as Jack Sizemore says.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of money involved too.
Yeah. Oh, it has.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
AI. Yeah, AI is. That's the only reason things move that quick. And he was talking about that company, which is
Is
I think
it
it's called
Fermi?
Fermi,
Mhm.
I think is what they're called. And he was talking about Fermi speed.
Okay.
Wow.
And he was like, things move quicker.
Yeah.
And I was like, I bet they do. I
Yeah.
bet they do.
There's so many corporations just putting all their profits into AI.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, because you can't imagine, like, well, and I think I saw the other day, some AI company just got approved for the biggest all cash loan ever, and it was like $8 billion or something like that.
No.
$8.6 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was more than, maybe it was
I heard about
100 or maybe it was like 800. I can't remember, but it was like
Yeah,
the
it's up
biggest
there.
all cash loan.
That's
to-
wild.
to
That's
an-
cash too.
Right. Right.
Everything's gonna be automated.
Well, and how could you prove that? How could
Yeah,
you
like show me.
yeah,
that
like
amount.
here it is on the computer.
Count it.
Like, well, I'm like,
bunch of trucks full of
I
cash.
always tell people like it's all imaginary. Like
It is,
it's
at this
all
point, it's just-
imaginary.
Yeah, we're just adding on to nothing.
Yeah, like what? Like what? The gold or like what? My
'Cause gold
breath?
doesn't back it up anymore, right? So
Yeah.
No, they say it's still like
like
decent, but it's
so-
not what it used to
No.
be.
Well, and gold has gone up a lot. Gold
Has
has
it?
gone up a
I was talking to
lot.
that minerals guy, and he was talking about the value of gold, and he
Yeah,
says
gold?
Oh yeah.
he says silver is really big now because it's the most conductive metal, and all these AI data centers are using
Yeah.
silver.
Really, I thought it was gold.
Well, I don't know. He said silver, but
Probably,
I don't know.
I know
probably
they use
silver's
gold
like
for certain
probably
components.
silver is the most like affordable and
Yeah,
abundant.
Yeah.
and he says like they run out of silver, so
Because they probably don't want to. Yeah, I was about to say they probably don't want to use a lot of gold
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's expensive.
yeah, I could see that. So
I don't know.
He's
I
all
don't,
crazy.
I don't let me
Gold
argue
is
with you
in
because
the
I don't.
weirdest places. Whenever they had jewels
Uh-huh.
real popular,
Uh-huh.
that you would have people just buying them and then taking them apart, and there would be little specks of gold in the frame in the hardware,
wow,
and you could like take 20 of them, and you'd have just bits of gold you'd save up for money. I'm like, man, y'all are doing too much here.
it's crazy. Like there's always going to be a value in precious metals. Like that's
That'll never
that-
stop.
Yeah, that's been that way since
Especially copper. That's a big
yeah,
one.
copper is used in a lot of stuff. I got some. Oh, I should have showed you. I don't know where they're at, but I got some. I met him at Smoky Joe's, and we're just
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and he gave me these pure copper coins, and I was like,
Nice.
yeah,
Dang, you better
I
save
looked
those.
I looked them up, and they're not worth that much. But
Give it time.
Yeah. They're worth more than a penny, though. I bet.
I'll add them to my collection.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to collect pennies and all that, and I'm like, oh, I guess
I've
they're
got,
not
I've
worth
got a,
anything.
I've got a coin. I've got a gold coin. That I think they appraised it at like 5,600.
Dang. Yeah, that's good. Damn.
That's crazy. Yeah, he
That's-
said he has like 500 ounces of gold, and he sells them to the gold and silver companies all the time when they're running out. And I
He's
was
making bank.
like,
I'll tell you
yeah.
that.
I was like, that's
I think of people like I've heard of people talk about how they like gold dust and stuff that was on the floor. They'd swept it up and like how much. I wonder how much gold has just been wasted or like swept up and thrown in the trash or like you know what I mean.
Exactly. We're just gonna have to get out there with the pan and start looking for gold, man. The creek beds.
I was gonna ask. So you're involved in the community a lot, like with Lions Club? Are you
Yeah,
still doing
okay.
Mario's?
Well, Yeah, so I'm not involved
You're
with
not
them
involved? Okay.
as much as I was, and honestly, I've got friends in it. I founded the El Barrio Lions Club back in
Wow.
2016.
Wow.
And we started from there, and I mean we used to do snack pack for kids, which I still do. I like to go on Tuesdays. I haven't gone since life transition, but I like to. That was like our main thing. I'd have people go with me to snack pack for kids.
I work at North Heights, and they get their snack packs on
Yes,
Fridays.
I
and
love it.
It's a good program.
I think
Yeah.
honestly, like I love it because it's easy for me to remember to do, and it's fun to do. You go and you just pack bags.
Yeah.
You know, and usually it's an assembly line. You just stand there and pack the same bag, and in 45 minutes to an hour, you're done, and you'll pack enough bags for all of Amarillo to eat. You know, and it's awesome. But yeah, so that's kind of like I kind of started it so I could have people to serve with to go do that. Well, we started the group. It's actually a cultural group, which you can start different types of Lions clubs for almost anything. And it's a cultural group. At the time it was the second of two Hispanic cultural groups in Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, and since then it's grown, of course, like quick, like they started growing quick, but we were one of only two. We started. We were having meeting. They still had meetings, and we got involved with the Kiwanis group, and we were doing flags in Belmar, and they still do flags in Belmar. The flag service, which that was one of my favorite things to do every morning. Or not every morning on the flag days and go and and sometimes it was a labor of love. Sometimes it was hard to get up on those mornings at 4:30. Yeah. And get out there and put those flags down. And sometimes it was too cold. But again, like just like anything, after you're done, after it's accomplished,
You feel good.
It felt so good, and see flags down the street that you just laid. It was fun. And then a couple of the members, Duke and Dash Jimenez, they started doing porches for the Texas Ramp Project, or ramps for the Texas Ramp Project, and they're still doing those, and they do like. They try to like beat their record every year because they do like at least one a month. I think one year I think the year I left, which was the year before last, they wanted to do 15 and they ended up doing like 21.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they cleared that list when and a Lion took over the Texas Ramp Project, and when he got on, there was just a lot of people waiting. There were people that had passed waiting for their ramp, and so he went in there and he cleaned it up, and they got all the ramps that were on that list taken care of, and so now I think they're keeping up with what's immediately what's being.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
Lions
a big
Club
fan
is
of
awesome.
Lions, because I used to go to Texas Lions camp in Kerrville, Texas.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was one of the kids that went every year, and that was just.
You should be a Lion.
Yeah, no,
you should be a Lion. They would love you. They would because honestly, there's the older folks. They're the ones that always bring up like, don't forget to talk about the camp, and because it like they love it, and so yeah, so they would love to have you. They'd probably bring you around everywhere, but like, tell them about the ranch or the camp. Tell them about the camp.
That was some of my favorite like childhood memories.
Hell yeah,
I love the Texas Lions camp.
Yeah, that's a big deal to a lot of those guys. And I mean, I never got to go. I want to go. I would love to go. But yeah, you should definitely be a Lion. Like
I thought about being a Shriner too, but it's like a lot of it's like because I went to Shriners as a kid, and I don't know, it's a lot of work, like masonry and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm Catholic, and I guess they're against all that. So.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading about that. Yeah. I guess because the masonry is like an old, established group.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
I was like, what? Because I guess they're poor like Christian groups, and I don't know, for some reason the Catholics are like, nah. Freemasonry, so I was like,
so the Catholics are like, we don't like that.
Yeah, because it's like a secret.
It's the
that
devil.
makes sense.
It's the
I can
devil.
see that.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's on
You
my-
should have started with that.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
devil. That's what you should have said. Like, I want to be a
that's true.
Shriner, but it's the devil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. It's against my code. You know,
Yeah,
can't do it.
yeah.
But there's a lot of cool like gentlemen's clubs, like the Elk Lodge and stuff.
Yeah.
I kinda
There's
like
that
the-
one on 45th in Georgia, the Knights of Columbus, I think.
Yeah, that's
I've
a
seen
that's
that
a
one.
Catholic one.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I've seen
They're
it.
pretty cool too.
Yeah, they're cool.
I always want to go and I'm like, man, I bet that's really cool.
I chose Lions because they're non-sectarian, which
Mhm.
I mean, you're in the Panhandle of Texas, so they're still going to pray and everything at the beginning, which I'm not against praying. I pray with, but and then they're non-political,
Oh, heck
which
That's a
again,
big one. That's
we're
good.
in the Panhandle of Texas,
Oh, yeah.
and you're still they're still gonna bring somebody.
Yeah. That's kind of like
I,
something.
Yeah.
I have one guy that I just really
Yeah.
hate to see come around those meetings.
Yeah.
Just one thump at him.
Huh?
Just one thump at him.
I wish I'd fight him. I probably would. Have y'all ever watched Fight Club? And you know, the
Oh,
part where
yeah.
who's like, if you could fight one celebrity, or if I could fight one politician.
It was-
Oh my.
You know, it's crazy to because I go to Power Church, and it's crazy to see how big barrio communities become, and like the barrio
Oh.
bash, and like just it
Yeah.
just seems like they're all in for each other. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Yeah, it's nice. It has grown a lot. I think you've got a lot of the younger community that wants to see that wants to see the community come together. You know, I feel. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we can feel like we're at odds, or you know, we don't
We don't see eye to eye.
yeah,
I'm
and so
noticing the younger generation has this fire about God.
Yeah.
You know, and when they giving me this sense like they're gonna like unify and you know with their beliefs and everything.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be standoffish, kind of like how previous generations was, pretty sketchy at it. They're gonna be, I mean, I can feel the aggression when I'm in church and around those younger people. Got that fire.
yeah. Well, I think we're kind of. I think we've seen a lot of apathy.
Yeah.
You know.
you gotta think we lived through like freaking COVID. Like
Yeah.
these kids have been through a lot. You know,
Yeah.
like and just not going to school.
They formed it.
Like a whole.
This stuff that we went through, it making them form a different type of hunger. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people. I think honestly, like you said, it's we want to be better. We might need that hunger to do better. You know, I feel like there's I've seen a lot of leaders, people in power, say that younger people are going to have to try harder than the older generations, you know,
Yeah.
because there's not as much for us. You know, and I say I'm one of the younger folk. I'm 40 now, but I'm an old millennial.
Yeah.
You know, and I can say I'm young at heart. So you know, that's, I mean, and I think about like my kids and the stuff that I tried to teach them that I wasn't taught, you know, as far as like just, world, literacy almost, you know, how to be successful in the world, not just how to live, but how to be successful, how you should do things to be successful. And honestly, like a lot of it's just like, yeah, you can do that. You can learn that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can, you know, instead of somebody being like, oh, how are you going to do that? What do you know? Woo, woo, woo,
There's
woo.
a lot of that.
Yeah,
goes
There's a
on.
lot of that. And I feel like, you know, and I don't know, maybe it was, widespread. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was a generation. Maybe it was something learned over time.
Yes.
I don't know, but at least from what I've experienced, you know, I've experienced a lot of people that you say something, you have an idea, you have, you know, and they're, well, how are you going to do that? Where are you going to do that? Well, you've never done that. You've never done that
I did
before.
the same thing to him the other day.
I always said like practicability kills dreams. Like when you start thinking like that, like that just then you
Yeah.
just kind of freak yourself out and
Yeah.
overdo it. Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Yeah. You had to have some kind of.
It gave me something, you know. I'm definitely an overanalyzer.
Yeah.
You know, I will analyze something to death and then never do it. And that's like, I mean, again, I don't want to blame anybody else. You know, it's just it's part of life. But again, I feel like you're kind of a product of where the line has come, and I have seen that in the past of, you know, and again, maybe it was a generation, maybe it was a half of, you know, just a timeline, just a spot in time where people found that, where they were like, where everything had to be questioned, like why they don't question the right things, you know, but they will question like anything that makes you want to do more or be more. Like, you can't do that. Well, no, you can't. I can. And I'm going to. I've watched it on YouTube. It's not that hard.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing.
It's kind of like fear isn't a part of their outfit at all. They just go for it.
I think that's a lot of it. I think that's a lot of it. If I'm a lot less fearful than my past generation, my kids. I always tell them, like, man, I love watching y'all experience things that I experienced in my 20s. Like, I mean, one of my sons, like, he's not a go-getter. He likes to play video games, whatever. I kind of love him through it. I let him do his thing because I know when you're pulling on a dog leash, they want to pull the other direction, and so I let him do. And I don't need him to work for me or anything. You know, I don't.
Yeah, you can support his hobby.
Well, and he likes scary movies and whatever, bro. And like, you know, and I'm down with it. Like, and honestly, I've watched some of the goriest horror movies I've ever watched in my life with myself. I was like, oh, I didn't know they got this. I like scary movies too. I don't know if I like this.
Yeah.
No, but like I let him chill. I'm not crazy, but you know, but like he watches stuff I watched in my 20s, and to me, like, again, some of it's a little like I'm like, I don't know if I want you like Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know, and stuff like that.
Solid show.
Yeah, but like I'm like, bro, like music, you know, he's listening to like Alice in Chains and stuff like that, and like he's a sophomore, you know, he started listening to rock when he was, and I went through stages like that, but I was like in my 20s, and I'm like, if I had gone through that, if I had been able to listen to rock and wear my grunge shirts in high school and do all that, like, maybe I would have I wouldn't have been doing that in my 20s.
Yeah, I totally get
you know, and so like, and in a weird way, like, again, it would have to, we'd have to expand on it, but like,
kids are ahead of us, like, technology wise.
They are. Yeah, we were brought up with more of a sense of a fear.
Yeah,
you know. They don't question nothing now. They just go. But it's funny because they have kind of like when I look at younger guys and stuff, they look goofy, but they're goofy intelligent though.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy, everything, they can make everything out of a joke. I don't know if that makes them more comfortable, but they don't like wish to reside in stress. Everything's carefree with them.
Oh, that's where I'm trying to be. The most. Well, I mean, and honestly, like you said, like that carefree, it's honestly, I would call it almost like just individualism in a more aspect. Like, we went through the 90s where we were talking about individualism, but there was none.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so, like, again, that image thing, I think that's where, like, we went through this time when there was image, and that's all that mattered, and everybody was saying, you know, what was going on, but they weren't doing it.
Yes.
And so now I think that has, like, at least in me, in my experience, I've kind of gone against that because I hate being lied to. Yeah. I hate being lied to. I hate being told how to think. Yeah. Especially when the person that's telling me how to think is doing worse than I am. Yeah. You know, and I feel like that's a lot of where you get that, like, that individualism, that carefreeness, because honestly, like, the person that's judging you is always doing worse than you. You know, there's always something. If they've got tea to tell you about everybody else, it's because their life is a wreck. Like, you know. Yeah.
You think it's just like conditioning over time, like generations and generations? You think it's
I don't know, brother. I don't know. I want to say it like because anything that I say here could be wrong somewhere else, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's the smartest thing I've heard.
Could this
Yeah.
guy give us an example? Because he worked with these, what's their
Alright.
generation? Those generation guys you work with? The kids? What's
Gen
Gen
X
X?
or
Yeah,
Gen Z? Gen Z. Gen Z.
Okay.
I always say
Okay,
Gen
always
X.
confuses
I
me.
always say
so,
Gen X. Yeah.
Drake, just like tell us like more about their swag, you know, because I just see little spurts of them, but they're a component of yours every day.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Kids are just so there's like we had trends, we had haircuts. They're just all over the place now, and they're so into their YouTube and they're so informed though. Like you're right, like those kids are smart. Like they may be a little bit lazier, but they're just.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I wish I knew all this stuff and they're funny. I don't know, they're just goofy little
They are
guys.
funny, man.
I can tell you like from what I've seen. I think they like that image, the image that they've seen. The best way I can describe it is I don't know if y'all have seen that movie where that guy puts on the glasses and everything says obey,
Yeah, I know
obey,
what you're talking
consume.
about.
I feel like they've got those glasses on already, and they clock just in authenticity. Like and if you, the more authentic you can be, like you said, they look funny to them. That's like that's the wealth, is the more authentic they can be, the more real they can be. And again, there may be people out there trying to act real, and inside they're just terrified, because like that's how most people are. We're all, the biggest fear in the world is not death, it's getting up on stage.
Oh yeah.
And so everybody's putting on a mask, but that's again like the more, and honestly the more you see somebody put on, the more scared they are. Again,
awesome.
something I say here could be wrong over there, but I say that about like folks that are covered in tattoos. They're trying to create a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the same thing with if you see a dude that's just himself, and he's wearing a crop top and some short shorts, bro, say hi to me.
Boom.
No.
Yeah.
I got a 20-year-old, right? So I'm brushing my teeth. I'm gonna go over to my cousin Superman house to celebrate his birthday. My son, he jumped up off the couch and he puts on some. He put this rug. That's what his pants looking like. And so I just looked my quarter eye. I'm like, man, where do you get them pajamas from, right? But these are pants.
It's such a wild style nowadays.
Man, I did not know he was going to put on a shirt, and he pulled out a pair of Jordans. I said, okay, I can go for that. But it's a certain, like, they create their own image and exist in their lane.
Mm-hmm.
And I think since COVID, everyone wants to just do their own thing now. They're so content on being like maybe more homebodies, more just being at home doing their, like, they don't want to be involved in all this. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like
I think it gave them a chance to kind of find their inner self
versus like that pressure that we felt like in high school. Like, oh, we need to go out to the party. We need to do this. Like, we need to make the most of our life. Like the FOMO. Like these kids are just content, like on their playing games, and it's cool. Like it's.
I mean, I look at my oldest, and I'm like, man, she's blowing through stuff I'd be terrified to do at her age, and she's like, oh,
well, and it's the validation. They don't need validation. Like my kids all the time, they don't have to go with me. I'm always like, you want to go here, there? No, never. They don't ever want to go anywhere. I'm like, oh, whatever, chill then, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's. They not like the thirst. They don't have the thirst for validation that, like, I don't want to say we do. I have always experienced.
We definitely had it in our generation.
Oh yeah,
we definitely had it.
These kids never grew up without social media. Like they've always had social media.
Right.
So I think we've grown up in both, so we can see the plus and cons.
Yeah, and I think being in both, like being in ultimate, like. Honestly, like in a void, like, unless you were on the phone with somebody, you were alone. I mean, and I remember I would
corner pay phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a corded phone, but like after school, I'd be alone. I'd be alone by myself. I'd call my grandma. I'd call my mom. I'd call a friend. We might sit there on the phone for 2 hours. I might sit and watch with afternoon television.
Yeah.
And then it went from nothing to something in 2 or 3 years. And so and that validation that we didn't get from everywhere else, we found online or whatever we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a
There's
gap.
definitely a
There's a
difference.
gap.
It
There's a
is.
gap. The kids, I like that my kids don't need, what do I call it? Prompting.
Yeah.
I'm always looking to be prompted. I'm always, you need something? You got it? You good?
Exactly.
And they well, act like you're not even there.
Just not
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, like, and it's not like personal. It's
Do
just
they know
they're literally minding their own business.
Yeah, do they know something that we don't know?
Sometimes I think it's like I'll see her and I'm like, "Hey, you want to help me with this?" Or she'll be like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "I'm here if you want to go." Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well, growing up, they're like, "Yeah, you're going." I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of it is just that I tell people too, like if you want something to happen, don't want it to, like, you know what I mean? Don't force it to happen.
You just
And
let it
because my
flow.
kids are very much like that, and I don't again, something that's here, maybe not over there, but I do see a difference between parents that are controlling and act like their parents do,
Yeah.
and the other kids who raise their kids,
Different results.
and totally different results because
Mhm.
they're not screaming at them. You can't tell a kid to act right when you won't act right.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
learned that. Yeah, the hard way. Yeah. I
Can't-
think it's
I
a balance
agree.
though, because you gotta have some kind of form, but then like I don't
It's
know.
definitely the whole,
you
like,
you
you're the-
definitely have to be a good parent. You have to be a good person. I mean, people don't want to hear it. People would like to say, "Oh, you can send." They would like to think, "Oh, I can send my kid to a boot camp, and they're going to be a great kid."
Yeah. Like,
No,
they're gonna-
no. It's going to ruin their lives. Like they're going to get out. They're probably going to be an alcoholic or a drug addict. They're going to have abandonment issues. They're going
They're gonna hate you forever.
yeah,
and you're gonna be
exactly.
like, where did I
and
go
and you're
wrong?
going to think you did the right thing.
Exactly.
And so,
Creating
no,
a
you got to
monster.
be a good parent. You've got to. I have a set routine. I've got my kids. Well, now I used to have my kids throughout the week, every week,
Yep.
and I had custody of them, and just to make sure that they got to school every day on time. And I made that routine. I woke up at 6:30 with them. I would get up. I would hang out around the house if they needed help. And we did that for years. And here recently, like I said, I was going through a divorce and everything, and my middle children, who are the oldest now that aren't graduated, decided they wanted to stay with their mom. She had a relationship and everything, and he passed, and so now she was living on her own. I was like, yeah, you go do it. And honestly, I kind of had a little fit. Before I was like, cool. That's kind of how I have to do things. I have to make sure, and then I think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Because the kids are watching you and how you're handling this.
everything, and so and so I was like, yeah, y'all go, y'all do your thing during the week and whatever. And so now I only have my kids overnight during the week on Wednesday night, and so we wake up Thursday morning, and every week, and I do the same thing. And I have we live up north, and I got to take them to Randall,
Yeah.
and so we gotta get out of the house 10 minutes earlier than we used to, and we do it every morning. And the moms are like, "How? Why? Whatever, whoop de whoop." And I'm like, because I've got a routine.
Yep.
I get up. I don't lay in the bed, and I mean, again, I'm not trying to down talk anybody, but I don't go back and lay back in bed and in the dark and
Exactly.
wait until they get ready. And no, I'm up and I'm getting around too, and I'm making my coffee, and
Yeah,
I'm,
you're showing that, like,
I'm best.
this
I'm a
is
part of that.
what we're doing, and I don't have to go and yell at them. We never yell. I don't. Everyone, I got to go back and tell Jonathan that like 2 or 3 times, like, hey, let's come on, bro.
At Boys Ranch, I used to wake those kids up. It take them like 20 times to get up. Like, hey, get up! They're sleeping still.
Well, I mean, and you got to think, like, they don't want to be there. They don't want to get up.
that's-
They don't want to do, and like, so a lot of it is just how you can relate to them, how you can let them know that they're a human, because they rely on us for everything. They don't, and that inferiority creates a complex within them.
Yeah.
And so if you're making them feel inferior all the time, no, we're all living all living the same exact day at the same exact time, and none of us know what's going to happen today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the kids, making the kids' lives harder is making your life harder.
Yeah.
And so so.
I think you'd be firm with them, but I want to put in as much effort, like just building that relationship.
I say firm but kind. Firm but kind.
Because I've seen, like, I've been a substitute teacher. I've seen, like, me trying to be buddies with them and all.
And a lot of times it's not buddies. A lot of times there is that imposed, like there's not a democracy there.
Yeah,
there is that imposed leadership that they immediately they're going to challenge. And so, like, sometimes it's not buddy, but sometimes it's firm but kind. It's like, hey,
and kids want to feel safe. I think that's a big thing.
That's the biggest thing. And a lot of kids go to school feeling unsafe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen teachers that have power trips and you do this, and they're just ugly and terrible.
You're breaking the kid.
Just break his spirit.
And that's what they think. I mean, and you end up you probably break a lot of kids. Yeah. I mean, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
But you didn't get a good obedient kid. Like, and obedience a weird word. Saying obedient, like we're just asking them to live as what do you call it? Your symbiotic creature in the house. Like all of us, like we're all symbiotic creatures, and we all need to flow together like a school of fish.
Naturally, we're wild. All of us are just wild creatures, and
that's what we are. I was telling my son that this morning. I said, buddy, well, you gotta get through your head that we are closer related to chimpanzees than chimpanzees are to gorillas.
Yeah.
I said, so we are primates. We live on this earth as animals. I said, when people start thinking that we're not animals, that's when you're messing up. That's how the government's run and everything else. And we were talking about just people that have like problems, on the street. I said, people, they get stressed. They have life problems and it wrecks them. I said, just like any other animal that you will find in the wild.
Exactly. There's a lot of mental health stuff that.
Oh yeah. I think one of the biggest things, like back then, I tried practicing like a lot of stoicism, things like that, and I've talked with her because some of it helps kids and you don't realize it. It's really cool philosophy wise.
I love it. Yeah.
But I talked to her and she'll tell me stuff about school or how kids are, things like that. And I was like, well, let's look at it from their standpoint. Maybe there's something going on in the house that we don't know. Yeah. I was like, to me, like, we're the only species that has free will. We're not like the bee that's programmed and it knows what to do.
Work itself to death.
Exactly. To me, our biggest thing, like our what we're made for, is to help others. Like, to be kind. I tell her, I was like, you see a kid or something, and sometimes she'll ask me like situations like, oh, this kid was sad. I was like, oh, did you see if they were okay or need a friend? So she's gotten more in the habit of like, oh, I should be more kind. I need to see if they need help or something like that. Like, go to the playground and there's a little girl doing her own thing. I was like, why don't you see if she wants to play, and maybe you'll make her day better. Yeah, like that's the biggest thing to me is we're made to help each other, to be kind. Yeah.
Well, and like you said, in the stoicism, in the practice of stoicism, I read the.
Is it the Marcus Aurelius?
No, I haven't read all of Marcus Aurelius yet. Like
he's my favorite.
He's so good. I usually see a lot of his in snippets, like and
like TikToks. And
things
like that.
I haven't read any of his notebooks or anything like that. But I've read the practicing Stoic.
Okay,
yeah, which is man, just. That one kind of was an easier read because a lot of those are just they're giving you life lessons, okay, and they're not in order. They're not in order or anything like that. And they're not telling you how. They're just this is the way. Yes, this is the way. And so the practicing Stoic like put all that in like such a good like clear way. And if I could tell anybody a good book cluster to read in order, you would do the Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Have you ever read that? Atomic Habits, The Practicing Stoic, and then The Power of Now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those 3 books in that order changed my life recently. And so, but yeah, you're like 100% correct. And have you ever read or heard of Adler, Alfred Adler?
Kind of, yeah. I've heard a
Okay,
little
so
bit.
he's a psychologist that kind of he goes out, like you mostly hear about like Freud and stuff like that, and he goes completely different, like saying that all problems are interpersonal problems, and the way we feel the way we do is because of just these interpersonal relationships that we have and what has happened between them and why, or the stuff that you do is to make yourself more desirable, this and that, but also that's the biggest thing. He says our main the thing that will make us happiest is like social interactions and helping others, and so so I'm totally down with that, brother. That's kind of how I live my life.
His journal is, because to him it wasn't meant to be like for the public eye. It was just him writing when he was at war, and like my favorite one is like the first like diary or first note he has. And I don't know, it's a longer one, but essentially it's like when we wake up in the morning, remind yourself that you'll be greeted with like the foolish or the angry, like with all sorts of people, and realize that like some of these people aren't already on the path that you're on of trying to be the better person, not be a better person, but like kinder, like you can understand better. So like something's out of your control, whereas like these people, like you're trying to work where
When you
someone
say
cuts you off.
understand better, are you saying that they have emotional intelligence?
Would you? I don't. Not necessarily emotional intelligence. More like you can kind of understand. Like, say, I'm like, I think one of the better things he tries to describe, like someone that breaks it down that I used to listen to. Like, say you're trying to work and someone cuts you off. Like normally you could be like, oh, that asshole. He, you give him the bird or whatever, honk at him. Well, from a different standpoint, you could think of, oh, maybe he has an emergency, someone's in the hospital or something happened. So instead of being just angry and frustrated, try to kind of understand, or maybe have a better perspective of like, maybe there's something else going on that I don't know.
It could be their worst day ever.
Yeah.
And I'll say, and I would say,
it's
you need to read it. You need to read The Practicing Stoic, because I feel like it would help you like put your thoughts into why you do them, and you know what I mean, because like that's exactly right. And the simplest way I can put it, and what The Practicing Stoic said was, the best way to imagine it is to observe and not judge.
Yeah,
because when you're getting pissed, that's you judging.
Exactly.
You're imagining that this person did something against you or whatever. When you're observing, you're saying, "Oh man, that person looks angry. It looks like it looks like they're in a hurry."
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I would say. Not to correct you or anything,
no,
but like,
it's hard to.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words, and that's why I love The Practicing Stoic. You need to read it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No. There was a Ted Lasso quote. He said, "Be curious, not judgmental."
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
And that just kind of stuck with me.
I'm gonna have to read that other book though. But man, I don't know about y'all. But sometimes we want to eat about 4 bias burgers.
Yeah, no, I think that's all of us. Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm feeling downhill today. I'm gonna take me a few bias burgers today. But naturally, we all want to be empathetic. You know what I'm saying? But it's such a challenge. Like you said, we don't know if me and this dirtbag out here, I don't know what he's going through.
Yeah.
Pull over, let's see. That's eating a bias burger. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to just accept it and move on.
Yeah, I don't want to see what's even his energies driving him to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't. I just forget it. I'm going all out. But we have to have more empathy and be more voluntary.
And honestly, like I would call that more for it's more for yourself. It's more for your own peace. Like how much do you want to protect your peace and your happiness, your calmness, and that's a lot of it for me. Is just I was like I told you, I had ran for city council back in 2019. And I've been in the political game, and I've argued on Facebook against people.
Man.
Yeah. And
It's
man,
ugly out there.
yeah. And honestly, like reading books, I had to read books. There was I didn't get in trouble. I got in an argument with a fella who was connected to the real estate world, and fortunately enough for him, he his dad had a brokerage, and he had a little bit more pull than I did in the real estate world, and he got mad enough. He called my broker. He called the networking group I was in. Like he was going on a tire. He was mad that I had said stuff on my personal Facebook page against him. Like he commented first. It's not like I was
You're
like
just going out.
tagged old so and so and was like, "Hey, you come over here and argue with me." No, he came to my post. And he got mad that I made him mad. I said stuff to make him mad. Like at this point, like I was like, it was less of an argument, and me like I wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
But anyways, like again, that animosity and everything, whether of how good it would have felt to fight him, that kind of messed me up, and took like it. Put me in a different realm of like, oh, this is less than personal. It's going professional, which we both had our lawyers send each other letter. Yeah, he sent a cease and desist from a real estate lawyer, and so I had a real lawyer. Which real estate lawyers are real lawyers, but I had an actual like civil lawyer help me write a cease and desist, and they never contacted me again. Wow. And so, and so it took me out of it, and like I had to like really examine where I was at. Which I mean, I guess if that hadn't happened, maybe I'd have kept going, but. I still believe what I wrote, I still believe what I wrote. It was just more of like, how much of this is doing me damage? How much anxiety is this causing me, or stress? When I'm texting this guy and my hand's shaking and I'm I'm smiling like a maniac, Yeah. And so, that's kind of like it. I had to do all that for my health. And I read, that's when I read The Courage to Be Disliked, and it turned me on to Alfred Adler's
That's cool.
Psychology, and that changed my life. Just letting go of all that hate and animosity. And I mean, honestly, like I tell the kids now, my ex-wife brings up, elections and stuff like that, and I'm like, I hadn't even paid attention. And I said, it sucks. I said, and I'm sure I'm letting somebody down. But right now, the only thing that I can really control is how happy my kids are, how happy I am, and how happy I'm making others. And honestly, if somebody disagrees with them, I don't even care. If we're in the same room together, we're looking at each other, we're neighbors, and if a bomb hit next door and we all had to survive, our political affiliations wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
It's crazy to think you get so worked up about that stuff. Like people get.
People get mad.
Yeah.
I mean, and right, like there's stuff that people believe and agree with and support that are vile.
Yeah.
Vile. And when I find out that you support those things, I think you're vile. I do not want to be associated with you.
Right.
So don't let me like, and yeah, if we're nice to each other in public or whatever, that's fine, because we're right there, and there's nothing's going to change from me arguing with you about what you believe on Facebook or whatever. And I don't really care if you believe what I believe, because I didn't post it for you.
Yeah.
And so there are people that are vile, but like, again, like I said, like arguing that stuff in professional public settings is pointless, because all it's doing is hurting you, taking days off your life because your heart's beating fast, and it's teaching you to be anxious in moments that aren't dangerous. Yeah.
It's crazy.
and you got to do all kinds of meditation and everything else to try to fix yourself from it. And man,
And this
Yeah.
other person, he on his magic school bus.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Some people are
Not
crazy
worried.
with it too. They'll
Yeah.
find you.
Or not. Or he's still over there, hates my guts, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like go, like hurt yourself. You know, I mean, honestly, the more you do that, the good.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna do it no more. But I still wouldn't be your buddy. And if you're hurt over it, good.
What's the
Yeah, that's
win?
on you.
What's the win though? If this guy successfully leaves the argument and he stays mad for the next 5 years at you, do you consider that a win? Or if he just throwing the white flag, which win is?
Honestly, I think you lose just just by getting in that argument, man. Like honestly, like because I often like after that I'm ready to be done with it. Like because I do, you get all hot,
Yeah,
and
you get
and your
worked up.
hands are shaking, and you got to do work, and you can't even think about your work because you're like, man, I should have said this, or I need to go. I wonder what this idiot said. I wonder what this idiot said over there. You know, and you're checking the post, man. I don't like. Yeah, you lost already being in there.
Yeah.
And then if y'all finally get out, y'all quit. One of y'all thinks they won, and you know, like I said, if he's over there hating me, I mean, you know, good. You know, because I don't think it's a win, but honestly, like I'm like, you started that, like go ahead and hate me over there and do yourself all the harm over there. I don't even want to think about you over here, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of good to stand up for yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like at what limit, like to,
Yeah.
you know, your personal.
Well, and that's the thing
standard.
is like if you're posting, you know, and I now try to post strictly, like generalized opinions. You know, it's, even if it's political, I'll post an article what the politics said or whatever, but I'm not gonna bring anybody into it, any supporters, anything like that. And then if somebody wants to disagree down the bottom, if it would be constructive to kind of have a back and forth, yeah. If not, I'm gonna ignore it, or I'm gonna laugh at I'm gonna make you mad, and then I'm not gonna talk to you again because like again you're there. I have a monetized Facebook, so right now you're gonna be paying me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, let's talk about these bees or honey. What was that?
Yeah, I seen that you're a beekeeper.
Okay.
And I don't know if you still do beekeeping and stuff.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So I've been into beekeeping probably since about 2020. I looked at it. I was looking it up. I was gonna get a hive, everything like that. I think it was 2022. I finally got my first hive. It was a rescue hive from somebody else. They probably swarmed because one day I was out there. I was sitting near them. I don't mind sitting near them because you can. Bees aren't like everybody says. Bees aren't going to attack you unless you're near. First of all, near their hive, trying to get in their hive. Like they're always going to be trying to protect their honey. That's the only thing. Yeah, and so I don't mind sitting by them, and I like the hum is just like so soothing. It's probably one of the most soothing things you can ever just like sit and just chill and
You know, we
sit
had
on your
another
phone or
guest,
whatever.
And she does that too. And she said the exact same thing. It's so calming. And she's like,
Yeah.
I think you'd be.
She said she's got stung several times.
Like
Okay.
20
All right. Well, so my first beehive. I was sitting out there. I had an electrician at the house looking around. He comes over there to tell me what's up, and so from where I was sitting, I'm like, I start yelling across to him. I got stung on the ear and on my. Did I get stung on my cheek? I got stung on my face, like because that's where they go for the face and the groin.
Yeah.
Like that's
wow.
big.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
I got worse than extra padding down there.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
start
don't go attack no beehives. Just stay away from the beehives.
We're
Smart. They know where to attack.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and so yeah, and so it got me twice. Which that was enough. I didn't go out there again, and I think, like I said, I think those bees just left because I wasn't taking care of them. Cause you honestly got to give them more room and everything like that. And I left them in the 10 frames that they were in, and I never went back. And so gave me a couple more years. This last year, I got 3 fresh hives. They you can buy them from a what are they called? Apiary.
Okay.
And they'll put them in little packages is what they call them, and they're about that big and they're full of little bees. And when and I picked them up in my truck and their little legs, like it's creepy because their little it looks like their legs are like trying to dig out.
Yeah.
But I got 3 of them. Got the brand new hives. You turn those suckers over and you just dump them in their hive.
Really?
Excuse me. And so I had 3 to start off with, 3 fresh ones. Immediately after I got those 3 fresh ones, somebody was like, "I need you to come rescue these." And it was another beehive, another beekeeper, and she was like, "We can't take care of these bees. They're out there. They're one of the hives fell over from the wind. They had dust all over them, and one was swarming on her trash can over there."
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. I was like, give me till the morning. We'll go get it. I had never rescued bees. Excuse me. And so we go out there to rescue these bees, and it's a lot more dire than I realized it was going to be. But I'm not one to give up, especially if like the free bees, like you
can,
especially with the hive and everything like that. And so I went over there and I rescued those bees. And so now I had 6 hives because I think I split one. Well, now I've got 5 because one of the hives either went into the other hive because that was its actual hive, or it took off because that's what they'll do. They'll if you ever see a big old thing of bees sitting somewhere there and they don't have a hive, they're going somewhere. So usually if you leave them alone, especially if it's summertime, it's because they're hot. They'll go somewhere else. And so if you ever see them, stay away from them, and they'll probably move off in the next week or so. But yeah, so I've got 5 hives out there. They're at my old house. And so I'm about to move them. I'm about to move them over to my house. They're good to keep. Like if you don't have too many, you can keep them in your backyard. Honestly, I could probably put all 5 of those in that little residential backyard, and people would see more bees around, but they wouldn't know they wouldn't know there was like 5 beehives behind them because they go up about a mile into the sky and then they're back and forth.
So I don't like to do a lot of cussing on this show, but you're badass for that. So I want us to get some type of, forget it. I got my bugs. I used to, collect crickets, and I used to fight them and stuff. Am I badass?
What do you mean?
That's awesome. I never
fought them?
Crickets.
Yeah. like
they can get stuck together and then
really?
Yeah.
That's wild. I never heard about
does that give me my tough man bug tag? Man, he's fucking badass. You know
that gives you something. That gives you something.
Man. Oh yeah, I get my deal, and sometimes I have my little jar. And if they ain't want to do now, I shake them up to get all frustrated and start fighting. I say, "Yeah, I got them now."
It's like a chicken fight. You got
that's amazing.
I heard all the different colors of them and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
What the hell?
Yeah. So this is probably up here, and being a bee badass is way up here. So I'm trying to.
Well, I appreciate that.
I am a scaredy cat from up north. You Southern boys, y'all possess this. I'm running nature, and
we're invincible, man.
Up where
It's a
we
frontier
from,
mentality.
up where we from.
Frontier
Probably what it is. We're like,
how bad do you want honey though? That's what.
Is the honey good?
Okay, so I haven't harvested yet.
No.
I haven't harvested yet. If I've never had a bad. I've never had a honey I didn't like. No, I've never seen anybody that I've ever. You can get some bad honeys if they're sick or something like that. But I mean, regular like it comes out like honey, like it. I mean, and you can cut those honeycombs off and eat the honeycomb because it's just wax. You know? And you can melt that wax down and make.
I was gonna ask, what maintenance do you have to do for honey?
Well, okay, so. You've got beekeepers that are really they want to control every aspect of the thing, which is fine too. Like they like to check for mites every 2 weeks and all this stuff. And then there's beekeepers that are like, leave the bees alone. Let them do what they do. we had enough rain this year. It was green enough or late enough that I don't like to check on them too much. I feel like they know what they're doing,
Oh yeah, they're programmed.
and every time you open that thing, they have to resettle and they make less honey. And so I want them to be as comfortable as possible. That's how I run my life. And maybe other people is like, firm but kind. I'm very like
Hands off.
You do your thing.
yeah. I'm because I trust is always like people is if you trust people to do what they're going to do what they're going to do. And honestly, if they're not going to do what you want them to do, they can go and do that over there.
Yeah.
And like that's how people, when you let people go and do what they're going to do, they're going to do exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you tell them.
Exactly.
I have a saying. I say, choose your own destiny, as long as you don't mess with me.
Yeah. I love that. That's how I am. I mean, and right now I've been you have a question?
What's a honey?
What's a
Honey. What are honeycombs made out of?
honeycombs? They're made out of wax. They're made out of wax that the bees make.
You can eat it.
Yeah. And that's how the bees
It's edible wax.
yeah, it's edible. You can eat the wax. I mean, most you can eat most wax.
You can eat most
Have you ever
wax.
ate a crayon?
shouldn't.
Oh,
Yeah, you've ate crayon. I'm sure you have.
I used to like to eat the purple ones.
But I made chapstick.
That's
You're getting close, but yeah, that's about the same.
Yeah.
That's about the consistency of bee wax. I like beeswax.
Yeah.
I like to.
Oh,
When you're making honey, do you have to put anything in it, or is it just already?
No, okay, so what you do, you get a honey spinner. You can do it without a honey spinner. Again, I haven't harvested honey yet, and so but from what I've researched is you can only honestly just spin that honey off, and you filter it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and the filtering is just to get the bee stuff out of it. Like honestly, and a lot of people like what is it, like that unfiltered
The
raw
raw.
honey.
Yeah.
I mean, and the raw the better. Like if you're like there's bees in that, they love it. I mean, because honestly, like it's so healthy. All this stuff is so healthy that like I've heard a lot of beekeepers say I get stung on my hands and and it'll help my arthritis
crazy.
and stuff like
I've
that.
heard of
And
that.
and I've heard that bee stings can eradicate cancer cells or
Really?
something like that. Like I've heard all kinds of like there's all kinds of
I
crazy
should've told my
stuff that.
brother. He just got rid of cancer a second time.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
really?
Yeah, he had the first one. He had testicular cancer.
Damn.
It was we not in a mean way, but we gave him a hard time because he was having pains in it and it was like swollen. And
Oh man.
the doctors were like, "Yeah, we'll go ahead and just chop it off and dissect it before running any tests." And I was like, "He's like, yeah, okay, let's do that." And he was like, "Can y'all just take them both? I don't want them. Like, I've had enough kids." But no, they took him into surgery, removed it, they checked it. Yeah, he had a tumor growing. They caught it early, but at the same time, he's like, "I'm pretty sure they said it was cancer, but they didn't like fully tell me." So I'm assuming I was like, "So you just gave it away for a maybe?" And then later on, he got a tumor in his stomach. They caught it real early still, but it was affecting his breathing and everything. So
Oh my gosh.
they did one big shot of chemo and then like 6 weeks of radiation in that one spot. And he's like, "Yeah, they tattooed 2 dots on me." And I was like, "You gonna connect the dots, do a line for him?" Like we joked, but I'm glad he got rid of it. But man,
Yeah.
if I knew that, I would have told him just go lay in a field of bees and just have at it.
I don't know.
It's for science.
right. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if I'm coming back.
I mean, honestly, like
There are some weird remedies.
I'm one of those that I don't know if I would want to do a lot of chemo, but I would try just about anything not to
Exactly,
not to-
just to avoid that because
I want to live.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
chemo it made him tired for like the next 3
Listen.
weeks once it was like leaving his body, and then the radiation where it was on his stomach, it was right behind his liver, I think.
Mhm.
So when it was shooting through, he got like real bad hip pains. Like he almost needed a cane to walk, and he was like, "They're giving me all these meds because I'm getting motion sickness, I get nausea
Oh my
because
God.
that radiation
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
pierces through
Yeah,
everything."
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he had a rough time, but he's strong and kicking again. They think they got rid of it all. I'm like,
Woohoo!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, because we're twins.
Congratulations.
He's like, you should go to the doctor. I'm like, no, I'm strong. I got this. I'm the
Yeah,
firstborn. I'm good.
Oh shit!
He has
You
a
got all
plan.
the good
He has
genes.
a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
So,
3
Fraternal.
minutes.
is it
Yeah.
by-
No. By a minute.
Oh, by a minute.
That's
Yeah.
not a lot to brag about.
It's not. I'll still a minute. I'll take it.
It's
I don't care.
What did Vin Diesel say? Whether you win by a minute,
yeah.
or by
By a
an
mile.
inch, by a mile, the
Yes.
win is a win.
Exactly.
You know, you're a second beekeeper, and I'm kind of interested in
Yeah,
doing
I
some
am too. I
beekeeping.
want some
And
of
we're
that
learning
honey.
a lot about bees lately.
I want some of that honey. I want to live.
I just want to be like with the bees. Like,
Yeah.
Man.
that'd be kind of cool.
Maybe
That sounds like-
we're gonna give him her information. That way they can have bee conversation.
Oh, we'll see.
I don't know if that'd be very, very fun.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Oh.
thank you so much, Stephen.
Yeah, this has
You're
been
a great
awesome.
conversation.
For
It's
sure.
really been great.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, when y'all were worried earlier about talking, I will talk for days. And honestly, I forget stuff that y'all brought up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could talk about. I haven't talked about that in ever. I don't think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
It's cool doing a podcast because you just meet so many different people and you
Yeah.
get to really know them.
Yeah.
And,
Especially local. You see like how each one, helps the community or the effect it has on them.
and y'all are so different. That's what I like about it. And,
Amarillo, that's one thing. I mean, it's not as diverse as it could be, but like
It's getting there.
yeah, it's getting there. We've got the hub, being here in the hub, like you get people from California and Illinois. I mean, everywhere.
Awesome.
I love it. I love how many people that I can meet here that have not lived here their entire life. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Amarillo is like a black hole; it just sucks you in.
I'm not from here, and I have a different liking for this place than people who've been here all their life.
Yeah.
They be like, I'm like, it's wonderful down here.
Yeah.
Like,
this
guy's weird.
yeah, I love it here. I think, there's a lot of people, I think it's just if you're not going to like where you're living here, you're not going to like where you're living at all. A lot of times
Exactly.
it's just, I see people that are like, I mean, I don't know, people move for different reasons, everything, but like there's people that say, I hate Amarillo. I'm never coming back, this and that. I'm moving to so-and-so. And I'm like, you can't move away from yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's crazy seeing how many are like that, and then they come right back,
Exactly.
and then they say
Because because they were alone there.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, and honestly, maybe you need to sit with a little bit of aloneness.
Yeah.
Like, cause if you're blaming it on where you're at and who you're with, I promise I promise it. You need to look a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Exactly.
I lived in San Marcos for a little bit, and it made me appreciate Amarillo.
I was thinking of the word appreciate, Doctor.
Yeah, I was like, and I know there's might not be.
It's just the
certain
right
stuff.
size. It's just the right size.
Yeah, but and
It is.
it's just so open. You could do anything. Like
Speaking of open in Amarillo, except for those dust storms, you're gonna need some of these.
oh
Yeah.
shoot,
So I had to buy a 6-pack.
Yeah, those dust storms ain't no joke.
No, they're not.
I'm so bad about losing sunglasses. Like, I get sunglasses all the time, and I lose them.
That's why you get the
Yeah.
transitions, man.
I lost 3 pair of Ray-Bans
Oh,
when I first became a realtor. I was I really wanted a pair of Ray-Bans because I mean everybody was wearing them at that time.
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
look cool. Ray-Bans look
And
cool.
yeah, and I bought a pair. I lost them. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy this pair, and like lost that pair. And I was like, okay,
Man.
third one's a charm. Never. I'm gonna have these for 50 years. Lost it almost immediately, and then after that, I was like,
You were-
I'm done. I'm done buying. I bought
It's a
this
sign.
with a 6-pack for I think it was like 15,
Wait,
17
you
bucks.
serious about the 6-pack?
Yeah.
I believe it.
That
I
was
mean,
awesome.
hey,
These, and then they had some that were they had some that were clear, with the blue, and then they had some that are black with the black lenses.
Mhm.
I mean,
Those
they
look
just
great
it was
for-
just a yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and I really liked the way they look, and they you can hear that they're not that they're.
Yeah,
but I mean, when you
heavy
look at
and-
them, they're nice and sleek, and
Oh yeah.
I think that's just the thing with sunglasses. You're meant to lose them.
well, I'm learning from the kids. One of my kids wore a nasty pair of white shoes for.
Ooh.
I couldn't get him to buy a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm just taking after the kids. Like buying cheap, buying thrift is the way to go. And they seem super happy and super authentic,
Versus buying the nicest, most.
Yeah.
It doesn't last. And you gotta buy it again. So
They're
Yeah.
not worried about what everybody's thinking. Our generation, we was all, oh man, I gotta look good. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm wearing bell bottoms to
What,
school.
what
Let me
brand you
put a
wearing?
safety pin
What
in
brand are
it.
you
Oh,
wearing?
gosh,
What brand are
yeah.
you wearing?
I remember kids used to make fun of you if you had the U.S. polo on your shirt. You're like,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I
that
was
was a big
like,
one.
oh.
Or
Like,
the
that's not real polo. You're like,
what is
Mm.
it? The Rhino? Was that what it was?
Echo?
Yeah,
The
thank you.
Echo.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it. That was a big one.
I never had no Echo. My
No.
parents wouldn't buy me nothing that was
The brand name.
They were stuck in that old age, and of course I had a stepdad. He's like he can wear Payless.
Yeah.
And so, man,
forgot about
it was
Payless.
rough. It was rough. I mean, all the way until I think until high school.
Yeah.
I don't even think in high school I wore. Maybe I did. Maybe I wore some Reeboks or something like that.
I
once.
remember Pro Sprints, but my favorite one was Tracks.
Pro
Oh,
Sprints.
you remember British Knights?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
just remember the
gosh.
box.
Ah.
I didn't. I know.
British Knights were so cool, and they came with the damn keychain. Oh,
Bro.
excuse me. I don't know.
Damn.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's
I have 4
flashback.
brothers, so I got hand-me-downs. So that was the second to
That's
last.
why my feet messed up because I was the baby too, but my foot was bigger than my
Oh,
brothers,
no.
right? So
Oh.
I say I'm wearing these mugs, and so they'll go somewhere and I wear their shoes to school. Next thing you know, I got toe jam, my feet hurting and stuff.
no.
But I looked good because at
Yeah.
the time, a few hours in school, I get home, take them boys off, my stuff is throbbing.
Oh
Pinky toe,
no!
that black no more is white.
Oh no!
Man, what's that Charles Manson song? You brought it on yourself, girl.
Dang.
Close us up, Chris.
All right. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm blinking your name now. I got so excited about
Steven
this.
Rosas.
Steven Rosas. It's been an honor time with you. We've had quite a lot to talk about,
Hmm.
and it's definitely been informal. Do you have anywhere they can reach you, like links, things like that?
Honestly, on Facebook, if you search my name, Steven Rosas, Steven with the V, you can find all my. I've got Steven Rosas, which is my personal public figure page, and then I've got the realtor Steven Rosas. I've got a minister page, which is my officiant page, and so the best way is just search Steven Rosas, and they will all come up.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, man. It's honestly been an honor.
Hey, I appreciate y'all.
And we-